Hi, I'm Megs Gelfgot, and I am the founder of Keep Her Wild, a skateboard collective for women, where we empower through riding and community. But before I could transform our community and even my own life, there was a story of pain and loss and tragedy and just finding identity. This is a little of my story. So I'm living the suburbia success story. I'm a new mom, I'm a wife, my business is going great, but behind closed doors, I had this unshakable feeling that I was being tamed in a suburbia, trying to fit into somebody else's success story. And it left me with this feeling of there has to be more. And if I was unsatisfied with the landscape of my life, I was the only one responsible. And so I reached for the first regret I could think of, something way outside of the norm that would be my bridge to reconnecting with that wildness within myself I had lost. And it was learning to skateboard. It was the grit and the test that I needed to really see what I was made of. So in an empty parking lot, this mom learned to skateboard, and I fell, and it was awesome, and it was amazing, and it took me on a journey of self-discovery. Things like going to a skate park, getting heckled by teenage boys. You think that you're full of grit until push comes to shove, and you gotta get back up there after falling and bleeding and doubting yourself. And it demanded that I step out of my comfort zone. What better spot than with a skateboard? So around this time on a Saturday, I'm rushed to the hospital with chest pains. I thought I was dehydrated. From the time I walked through the door of the hospital to when they were strapping paddles on my chest, 10 minutes. It was discovered that I had a heart condition and I would undergo my first heart surgery later that week. Wolff-Parkinson's-White syndrome. So as I'm grappling with the repercussions of how this would limit my life moving forward, one of my older sisters, Susanna, she's in a minor car accident back in Arizona. A few days later, she would be rushed to the hospital unconscious. She would die in the ICU 3 days later, complications from a car accident. In a matter of just a couple weeks, everything about my life changed. I came face to face with the fragility that I knew would change everything about how I made decisions, the risks I was willing to take, and how much I poured into relationships. And fear had told me that I wasn't capable of leading some sort of skateboarding anything. We're all promised hardship. That's just a part of life. And everybody has a past. Mine includes the heartbreak of losing a beloved sister, the ever-changing reality of living with a heart condition. And while those transform me and change me, and we all have a past that's gonna do that, I wasn't willing to endure and to walk through that pain and it not count for something. Winston Churchill said, "Never waste a good crisis." And in this moment in time, I was surrounded by crisis. And the only option was to continue forward, was to move through it. And that's where I found healing, by helping not only myself, but other people. I chose to look back on those events and give them an empowering meaning in my life, because I would not let fear make a coward out of me anymore. I started a skateboarding group in Cincinnati for women called Keep Her Wild. What I thought would be a handful of women that would show up ended up being 50 women on our very first day, all searching for something more in connection and community. Now Keep Her Wild has communities in 12 countries with retreats and events to get women living outside of their comfort zone. Even our moniker and our hashtag and our content is designed to get women believing in the fierceness that they bring into the table, no matter what walk of life they're in. That was the moment that I knew, gosh, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than my past and the pain, and this is really important. And in that moment, when I turned the corner, it really helped affirm what we hope is true, right? We hope that we're brave enough. We hope that we're capable enough, but really it had nothing to do with hope at all. It was, what was I willing to endure well? I was willing to endure those questioning moments and then reframe of, you know what, I can do this. And the skills that I don't have now, I'm going to develop them. So many times previously, what had held me back was this thinking that I had to be the master of skateboarding. I had to be all of these things for other people, but really where I have been most effective is in my vulnerability, in the fact that I am flawed and I was still learning, and I was willing to walk that journey with other people, and now they walk it with others, and it's just so inclusive, and that to me is the magic of Keep Her Wild, and why I value telling the hard things about my life so much, is because in a world where we just paint the pretty picture and the filters and the noise of like, look how great things are, there really is such beauty in taking a moment to appreciate the shambles, because it was only there at the bottom that I felt that urgency to go for it in a way that I never would have before.